Kamala!
Hello? Hi!
Congratulations.
Oh my goodness.
Now, listen, let's be clear. You are the puppet, and I'm the puppet master. Just call me Daddy. Big Daddy Barack. From now on, you're my bitch, both literally and figuratively. Now look, we're going to rig this thing just like we did for Joe, so you don't have to really do anything. Just don't fuck it up. But it would be nice if you could pretend to not be a total idiot, just until November. Like, don't talk about shit you know nothing about.
AI is kind of a fancy thing. It's, first of all, it's 2 letters. It means artificial intelligence. But ultimately what it is it's about machine learning. And so the machine is taught.
And look, we get it. You like Venn diagrams. You don't have to keep reminding us.
I love Venn diagrams. I love Venn diagrams. I love Venn diagrams.
And for the love of God, stop with the laugh. Your laugh, it's weird. It's a weird laugh. You scare people. It's not even a laugh. It's more of a cackle. You're like the Wicked Witch from The Wizard of Oz, except you're brown. You're like a cross between a human being and a hyena. You're like a transgender version of the Joker. All right, now look, we need this rigged election to look real. And we know that nobody really likes you, so this is what we're gonna do. We know you can't fill a stadium like Trump. So what we're gonna do instead, we're gonna bring in a popular musician by the name of Megan Thee Stallion. Now, Megan Thee Stallion is gonna host a free concert. This concert will be in Atlanta. And so now here's the twist. You're gonna come on stage and speak for a bit. Then we pretend that it was a Kamala Harris rally. Then America will think that you can fill up a stadium just like Trump does. American voters are stupid. They'll totally fall for it. And when speaking, I want you to try to sound as black as you can. Instead of saying everyone, I want you to say y'all.
And you all helped us win in 2020, and we're going to do it again in 2024.
Black people love that shit. I grew up in Hawaii, but hell, it worked for me. All right, what do you think?
I'm looking forward to doing this, getting out there, being on the road. And we're going to have some fun with this too, aren't we?
No, I said stop it with a laugh. Damn it, Kamala. Don't.
Oh my God. Whoever came up with that is promote them. Give them a raise. Oh my God, that was amazing. What's going on, people? Everybody's in the house. What's up with all you late folks? Almost 100 on already. That's unbelievable. Midnight, number 1 tonight. Vidman 2. Troy, man, what's up? MM, Andy, Nate Dogg, Steve. MM says Japan not doing so hot. That's so true. Vidman said Don Rickles' case. Or something much worse. Daniel, what's up? Darren, Superhero, Bob Wren, Alan, CJ Yukon, Just Mike, BM Pro. Look at all these beautiful people. Drew, Agent Orange in the house. What's up, buddy? Luigi, been a while. Donkey, Chad, Kathy. All right, I think I'm almost caught up. The one, what to do? Danielle, she better take his advice. I agree. That is so classic. It's amazing. Brandon, are they going to swap these two out of the convention? Oh, my God. Could you imagine? Midnight with the 5 memberships, starting it off fast. Thank you, Midnight. Appreciate you, girl. See, I remembered. Derek A is in the house. Hot Rod, Miguel, BM, and Omicron Prime. Some hidden members there. They watch, but they don't talk very much. Welcome, guys. You're in the membership now. You can now go check out the extra content on the weekends. It's awesome. What's up, Hero? Don't forget to hit the like. Thank you very much. We'll get the likes up, Mike. No worries. McLovin, what's up? Listen, if you thought that video was funny, you need to like it. That's, just like it on here because it's probably copyrighted somewhere and I'm going to get a content strike for it. So, but I played it for you guys because I love you guys. All right. Somebody just brought up that convention thing. So I got to show what was just posted from Trump, which is just nuts. Like, I can't even begin to believe this is true. But if it is, it would be crazy. Hold on a second. I thought I saved it. But anyways, Trump truthed out that they're going to swap out Biden back. And I just can't even... he's got to be trolling. Here it is. This has got to be a troll. But this is crazy. What if this does happen? And we're going to get into... I'm going to show you guys who Tim Walz is. He's so much worse than you think. Big Baby Walz is what I'm calling him because he's got that big cheeky old man, fat man face. And he's a total joke and a disaster. And it's the worst presidential ticket of all time. So we're going to go through that, how it's just, I cannot listen. When they picked him, I was actually a little worried about Shapiro because Shapiro is, he's a good talker. He's charismatic, and he's popular in Pennsylvania. So what it made, listen, and the VP carries their state thing is not true. Okay, that's been very disproven in history. However, it can help a little bit if they're very popular. And Shapiro's popular in his state, so it would have made Pennsylvania a hair harder for Trump to win. Walz comes in. He's from Minnesota, which is not supposed to even be in play. That's supposed to be a solid blue state. And the guy is a disaster. He is so easy to attack. There's so much on him about how he's ruled. This is just, as the media frenzy dies down, which it will. We'll probably give it another week, maybe two. Eventually stuff's going to start bubbling on the surface. People are going to start paying attention to more than just the excitement of having anything other than a walking cadaver running for president. And so it's once that starts catching up, it's going to become a problem. But Trump Truth is out tonight. Says, what are the chances Crooked Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of the U.S., whose presidency was unconstitutionally stolen from him by Kamala, Kamala, Barack Hussein Obama, crazy Nancy Pelosi, shifty Adam Schiff, crying Chuck Schumer, and others on the lunatic left, crashes the Democratic National Convention, tries to take back the nomination, beginning with challenging me to another debate. Feels they made a historically tragic mistake by handing over the U.S. presidency a coup. If that happens, it's going to be the most exciting, fun convention ever. It's going to be all Republicans and MAGA people are going to be sitting back watching with popcorn, just being like, this is great. If this Democrat civil war that's been going on can escalate to another level, I'm so in. And then he also Truth, this is the most radical left duo in American history. Never been anything like it. There never will be. Crazy Kamala is indeed crazy. Here there's a big movement to bring back Crooked Joe. I can't even fathom that. But listen, as we go through this, it might make a little more sense, though, because there's a lot of things that are very interesting about this pick and how it's going. Fro Girl in the house. What's up? Michael Quintera, Norden Man, what's going on? Queefer, smell another Black Monday coming. Oh, really could with what's going on in Japan for sure. Dave R, what's up? Gary, hope everyone's good. We are. Another rich old white man. Exactly. Right, Kathy? Hobbs, yo, Kim Wiley, what's up? Good to see you guys. All right. Let's go through some of this on the Tim Walz. So, I mean, here's him saying, just equating
but we can get out there,
to neighborhood.
reach out, make the case. And for one thing, don't ever shy away from our progressive values. One person's socialism is another person's neighborliness. But we can get out there.
I mean, when they tell you who they are, listen to them. Listen to him. He's just avowing like socialism. No big deal. Yeah, it's just the same as being neighborly. No big deal. It's fine. It's just like being neighborly. No big deal. By the way,
drink clean water.
Here's Kamala just openly admitting that
when we invest in clean
about
energy and
depopulation.
electric vehicles and reduce population, more of our children can breathe clean air and drink clean water.
They tell you who they are. Listen to them. Just don't forget what they say. I'll hold it against them. Absolutely hold it against them. All right, Megyn Kelly. Tim Walz signed a bill. Lets the state take away your kids if you do not agree to sterilize them and chop off their body parts in the name of gender-affirming care. If your 14-year-old is sad, thinks it's gender confusion, you object to castrating him, the state takes custody. So that's, he's hardcore left. He's Gavin Newsom in the Midwest. It's under his regime of governor. I saw a tweet today. It said, I live in Wisconsin. Going to Minnesota is basically like going to Canada. It's not part of the Midwest anymore. That's how crazy it is. That's how crazy it's happened under Tim Walz. And how can we forget, this lovely time, but it was mostly peaceful. So just don't forget that. But yeah, 2020 happened on his watch. So George Floyd, all the stuff happened on his watch. So we have, like, again, who the hell made this decision? This is so awful. This man is so terrible, and he's a goofball too. He's just he looks goofy. Like, you're supposed to pick. They already have somebody super goofy in Kamala, and now they pick this guy to go with her. I mean, look at this guy. I mean, can you guys stomach her laugh one more time real quick?
Good evening. Good evening.
What the hell?
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening.
What a weirdo.
Good evening. Good evening.
Who does that? Little baby clap? That's why I'm calling him Big Baby from now on. This guy is, again, just showing you guys who he is, because we have to get it out there. Everything, it needs to be spread. It needs to be exposed. Everything needs to get out there. We need to go after everything, because this is balls to the wall. This election is Trump wins or bust. Trump wins or bust. These are the worst people who've ever run. Kamala doesn't even have policies on her website right now. Do you guys realize that? Why? Because when you get in, when they get in, if they get in, it's going to be absolute destruction of our republic. They're going to go all out. So it's just, these are the people they chose. Now, the good thing is they're stupid. The good thing is they're goofballs. And there's going to be a bunch of people turned off to this. A bunch of people. And he's not going to bring any votes over. And so we just got to thank God that the Democrats are anti-Semitic and wouldn't go with a Jew, with Shapiro. And that's exactly why they didn't pick him. And also, I mean, this is the other thing. Like, they still don't trust her. At least 12 different people have declined Kamala's VP offer, calling it career suicide. Roy Cooper, Gretchen Whitmer. I mean, all their stars. It was Shapiro and Walz at the end, and Mark Kelly, and they were the only ones, and none of those are stars. None of those people were even talked about several months ago, and we were thinking about who could replace Biden. These aren't stars in their party. Newsom was out immediately because Kamala and him are from the same state. But I'm just telling you, like, these people are, they don't trust this to get done. And yet, in that back room, Obama and Clinton's are freaking out because they're trying to figure out, how do we do this? We don't have anybody. This is ridiculous. But they have to stick with them now because she's officially nominated. They've dedicated the DNC has given it to her. So could there be a challenge? Yes, it's just going to make everything crazy, but they've given it to her. And so she gets to pick Walz. And I mean, this is, let me get through a couple more things with Walz here. So this is James Lindsay, who is like one of the best researchers on communism and what's going on in the American left in the world. So Tim Walz, trained communist who even refers to himself as a socialist, teaching in a communist school in China during the Tiananmen Square incident. We're supposed to believe the Democrats aren't running a communist ticket. And here, Tiananmen Tim. I like that, by the way. Tiananmen Tim. The other thing to call him is, what was it? Oh my God. Okay. Well, I'm not going to mess this one up. I'll come back to it. Tiananmen Tim needs to explain what he was doing during his time in China. Strange how his brand of governance so closely resembles that of Communist Chinese Party. Who were his influences while in China? He taught in China's Guangdong province around the time of 89. He later taught the Native American reservation in Pine Ridge as well as Nebraska. This guy is an avowed communist. I mean, it's like these people, Kamala's whole what wasn't been in the past, the stupid thing she does, that's a communist line. It's a communist chant. And that's all been exposed. Like, that's out there now. She's quoting Marx. These people aren't Americans. At least not in their hearts. They are full on communists. They want to change our entire world. Real quick, here's Van Jones admitting that they're anti-Semitic.
Do you think it was a little risky, though, Van, that she didn't go with Shapiro to kind of lock down Pennsylvania? I mean, yes, David Challenger was saying earlier, just because you pick him as your running mate doesn't mean you automatically win Pennsylvania. But I got to think it would have helped just a little bit.
Hey, listen, the conservatives, the right wing, the Republicans, they were chewing their fingernails down to the knuckle because they were afraid of a Josh Shapiro. They were afraid of a Mark Kelly. They're not as afraid of this new governor because they think they can define him. So here's the challenge you've got in this party. And people don't want to talk about it. We got to talk about it. On the one hand, you have a lot of young people who are concerned about Gaza. You have a lot of Muslims and Arabs and others. They have not felt seen by the Biden administration. You start hearing that genocide joke. That was building. And so those folks needed to have a candidate that they could feel comfortable with. This helps them in that regard. But you also have anti-Semitism that has gotten marbled into this party. You can be for the Palestinians without being an anti-Jewish bigot, but there are some anti-Jewish bigots out there.
There it is. Even Van Jones is admitting the Democrats are now the party of anti-Semitism. You can't make this stuff up. I mean, what is happening? It used to be the right was the Nazis, but now they get to be anti-Semitic, but they're not. They're not. What's it called? They're not Nazis when they're anti-Semitic. Only the right's Nazis. But it's just a little problem we have on our side. So yeah, we just can't go with Shapiro. There's just too many Muslims and Hamas lovers in Michigan and up there Minnesota area. So we gotta. Tim Walz, by the way, is the one who changed the Minnesota flag to look more like Somalia. So there's that too. This is what's going to happen as it keeps going out there. Who this guy is.
Who's excited for Tim Walz?
Yeah!
They don't even know anything about this guy.
I love Tim Walz.
I'm liking him. He's kind of new to my radar screen.
Why do we like him? Because he's likable. And because if we want to call a spade, he's non-threatening.
I don't know too much about him except what I read this morning.
Tim Walz is giving illegal immigrants driver's licenses.
Giving illegal immigrants driver's license? Yeah. I personally have not heard about that.
I also don't necessarily believe that a person is illegal.
Quite frankly, if you're not Native American, you're an immigrant anyway.
Illegal immigrants driver's license? No, that's not a good thing.
He's putting tampons in little boys' bathrooms.
Get out of here. I am going to do my research on him. That don't sound good at all.
You see, this is the Democrats who they rely on voting for him. Just people who don't pay attention at all. And it's like you wake them up. Now, do I believe she's actually going to go do her own research? Probably not. Or she's going to read some New York Times article that excuses what Tim Walz did. But anyways, the point is they have no clue. This is how there can actually be good people who vote Democrat. They're just ignorant. But anyways, so that's it, guys. This is our new VP guy we're running against. Big baby Walz, creepy Tim. I mean, this is just wild. So, in my opinion, the election just got more in Trump's favor, and the polls are going to catch up. I told you guys they're already going to be correcting over this next week. People who are really paying attention behind the scenes are seeing it already, and I think this is going to start turning around. This is a disaster. This is one of the biggest mistakes they ever could have made. So I'm loving it, but it's also terrifying if they win. Or they won't win, but terrifying if they steal it and they pull it off. So everybody, we have to show up. We have to show up again, show up as election poll workers, watchers, whatever you can do. If that's for you. If not, share this stuff. Get that stuff out here. Show who this guy really is. Remind everybody that he oversaw Tampon Tim, that's the other one. Show everybody that he oversaw the riots, and he's just show these people who they are. And I tell you what, the more they're out there, the less likable they're going to be. And then the next thing is, J.D. Vance is going to eat this guy for breakfast in a debate. He's going to destroy him. So what were they thinking? Or was he just the only one who'd take it because they just hate her so much, even though they're throwing everybody, the full force of the Democratic Party and the media behind her to win, and yet they hate her too. Is that really what it is? So this is it's a wild time we live in, guys. It's a wild time we live in. All right, let me catch up with the chat, and then we're going to go over economic stuff and any other questions you guys have. Let's see here. Shine bright. Think much bigger issues. We can share a country with these people. We can't. I mean, they can be in the country, but we cannot allow them in power. That's just how it is. We can't allow them into any power. We can't allow them on school boards. Like they have, if like, listen, the only way you can keep, there's a reason, there's a reason it became, when you got into office, you swore an oath to protect the Constitution. That is right there saying, I swear fealty to this, and I will serve the Constitution and the people. And when you're a communist like this, you're not. You're lying. And so we have to be able to dig this stuff up, and the people have to wake up and not vote for them. But there needs to be safeguards in place. Yeah, you're absolutely right. We should not be able to have people like this in anywhere near where they're at. What's up, JC Cool? Vin, man, Tim Walz and Kamala's husband look like they're in the closet playing for both teams. Peter Joy, what's happening in Japan? Listen, you're going to have to go to my videos from yesterday and even earlier today to really understand that. I won't have time to go through it all today. But as Japan's yen, as their currency is collapsing and they're fighting to work that, there's a bunch of investments caught up praying that their currency was going to stay where it was. And now as it gets worse and they're raising rates and everything, it's unwinding a lot of leverage in American markets, and so much that it could destroy our markets. Or at least lead to a major crash. They're the Democratic SpongeBob and Patrick. hey, SpongeBob. Yeah, he kind of looks like him. Trump, Elon, Monday, that looks great. He does kind of look like Uncle Fester. 2 weeks ago, he said Biden was good to go. What changed? Who knows? It was so gross. They are what George Costanza is to Mike. I love that. Waiting for Tim Rickles to pull Howard Dean scream. How funny would that be? She's cackling and he's like, yeah. That would ruin it. What's up, Lazy? Thank you. Hero Large, you heard Obama and Pelosi wanted Walz over Shapiro. Yeah, because Shapiro's Jewish. Maybe they're getting ready to overthrow them at the convention. Maybe. I mean, it is interesting that Trump threw that out there. Now, I think he's probably just trolling because the idea of Joe coming back. But I will tell you this. At this point, there is nobody they can bring in to replace him that doesn't have a head start. It will be way too late. They stupidly put their convention so late that legally they won't be able to get on a couple ballots. And on top, and in Republican states like Ohio, that they're not going to change the rules for the Democrats. So you have that. And then you have the fact that pushing somebody else in is going to create a crap storm in the Democratic Party. The voters will completely, they've handled one change and they dealt with it because they were ready for Joe to go because he was so gone. But if you take out Kamala the same way you took out Joe, that's going to, I mean, remember guys, she's black, or at least she's a minority, and she's a woman. You do that to her after all this excitement behind her and all the media push behind her, that blows up in their faces. So they've dug themselves a deep, deep hole. They're between a rock and a hard place right now. And so they can keep this joke of a ticket, which, you know, still could pull things off. Because what they're going to do, I don't think they will. But, you know, anything's possible when you have a bunch of dumb people who don't pay attention voting just because they have new energy. And it's just enough to push her up. Now, I still don't think they're close to that. I'm still very confident Trump's going to win this. But, you know, we just got to prepare ourselves, and we got to remember we still have to fight. And but you take this joke of a ticket, you're stuck with them. And then your only other option is to go back to Joe. I mean, I just don't see it happening. But, you know, this year's been so crazy. Anything's possible. Mad Max, pay attention to HUBC Israel cybersecurity. All right. Can't be real, huh, Gary? Elizabeth Hall, I'm amazing in a bad way. Oh, blue hearts. We got a Dem in here. That's all right. We still love you. Kim Wiley, what's up? John Cox, he's the only one that would take it. Shapiro knows his career would be over. Well, Shapiro was ready to go. Shapiro was going to take it. But yeah, Walz is, he knows that this was his only chance to ever do something bigger than governor of Minnesota. He was never going to be asked again. This guy popped up in just the last few days on their short list. He was never mentioned before. Nobody wanted this. It was, and so it finally came down to Shapiro or him, and they went with him because he's not a Jew. That's really what it comes down to. It's that bad. Craig, did I see Trump pick up a bottle of water at NAJBJ, check the cap, and set back down and drinking any? Oh, I do. Yeah, I did see that. Yeah. You think he was poisoned? He would think of that? Maybe. What's up, Dubois? How you feeling, man? William looks like Squidward. Oh, ouch. Jim, hey, if some stocks hit a new high, I might sell some to buy back at lower prices. I mean, tomorrow we might see more rally. In fact, let me pull up the charts. So I've been watching Asia. At first, the Nikkei was pretty far down, but it has bounced back up 2%. But still, listen, this is just a bounce back. I read a great article today about how a lot of the trades that went down on Monday, we're not going to start seeing them really get settled until today. So this market rally might be very short-lived in Asia. And if it continues to go down, we're going to get a lot more pain here as well. Mad Max, stock alerts got alert coming pre-market. Could be another big hitter. Okay. Awesome. All right, Jim, take care. Thomas, have I seen the Nikkei 225 up approximately 800? Yep, looking at it right now. Let's see. Hobbs, Cori Bush lost. I know. Beautiful. Absolutely. Get her out of there. I don't even care that it was they rigged it for the guy. They AIPAC, the Israeli American-Israeli PAC, they put $9 million behind the other guy to get Cori Bush out of there. But you know what? I don't even care. It was great. Sport cards. You search years old Walz vids on YouTube, found lots negative, including drunk driving in his past. Yeah, there was he was doing what, 95 or 98 in a 65, and he blew a .125. I think that's what it was. Let's look it up. I just saw this, what you said. Yeah, here it is. This is Marjorie. Well, it's her parody account. Kamala Harris doesn't want you to see Tim Walz's mugshot go viral. 96 in a 55. Blood alcohol limit 128. Yeah, so crazy. Lied to them about being deaf to avoid arrest. That's Tim Walz. VP pick. Did they even vet this guy? I mean, did they just get so desperate at the end to get her a VP that they didn't even vet him? That's what it's looking like. This is insane. This guy is a joke. I just cannot. As soon as they picked him, I was like, oh my God, they literally picked the best possible person they could pick for Trump. I mean, it's unreal. It's absolutely unreal. What's up, Katie Cat with the 5 memberships? I love it. Zizu, Jesse Carmen, Nick Pastorino, Matt Aren, and Sam O. Welcome to the membership, guys. You now qualify for extra content on the weekends. I do members lives. It's only $3 a month for those of you who want back in or have never joined. So that's all I ask, $3 a month for extra content. Helps support the channel so I can keep pouring a lot of time into this. It takes a lot of time to research these videos. And trust me, YouTube ads pay almost nothing. So I appreciate the support. Thank you, Katie Cat, so much. And welcome everybody else to the membership. Love it. ZJYL and GDC, yes, they've been making some moves. I mean, this is when things can happen, is in the volatility, okay? I mean, look at ZJYL, up 17% today. The volatility is when things can really happen. Even fingers up today. Just a good day. DJT got a little hurt, but right now, though, the only thing I'd say is that even though the ZJYL is looking really nice, they're still moving outside of, well, GDC actually, well, my bad, I didn't catch GDC there, 17 cents, so 13% up today. They're not moving as much overall. They're moving with the market. Those two were breaking out a little bit. That's what I meant to say. But the market today had its bounce back just like we predicted it would. And this is going to probably continue for a few days. You can see pre-market back up again. But listen, in my opinion, this is a rug pull waiting to happen. They're going to suck people back in, get them excited by pushing this up. This is not over. The VIX doesn't shoot up to 65 in a day. NASDAQ doesn't go down by 1,000 points for the first time ever in one day. And it's just a one-day blip. That is not how this works. So, and on top of that, everything that was going down in Japan, I mean, this is just a little reprieve. So everybody get their breather in, start making their plans. Make your trades as you feel like you need to. I don't have financial advice for you, but I'm just telling you, in my gut, this is going to turn around in the next, I'd say, 10 trading days. But I think we're going to have a little holiday here before things start breaking again. And at the absolute most, I think it's possible we make it to the rate cut in September. But I would be kind of surprised the more I'm looking at things. Alan says Trump cracked the water bottle and tightened it. Earlier was having a hard time to open. He was being an alpha man thing. Oh, that's awesome. I didn't catch that. Sports card. His years-old governor vids on YouTube comments are low with Minnesota residents who hate him. Yeah. Little blood in his alcohol stream, right, JR? George Bush at DUI also became president. He did, but I mean, we're not saying he's not going to become president for it, but George Bush, that was the big scandal he had. He had to overcome that. He can't drive 55. Brad Waltz's screwball, already picked by Bernie. Real solid choice for last place. Exactly. What's up? Walmart Slim Shady? Is that what you're calling me, Josie's? Okay, I guess I'll take it. Johnny Lechner, global baking stuff is wild. Check my video from yesterday. Baking stuff? I'm sure you meant something else. Craig Donner, picking Waltz to show us they can plant everyone in office they want. Maybe. I don't think it was. Craig, I think that is that's giving them too much credit. I think they're stuck with Kamala. Their best bench players, they couldn't get in, which was like Newsom and Whitmer. They didn't want anything to do with it. They both thought it's a loser because Trump was up by so much. And they both, listen, even when the cabal wants to win it all and is like, look, if we don't, they will choose themselves over the party. They will. And that's what sick, twisted people do. They will always choose themselves over the greater thing they're all fighting for. So when Obama's calling up Newsom and he's like, hey man, you want to run? Newsom's like, bro, are you kidding me? Like, look at those poll numbers. I'm not jumping into this race. It's a loser. I want to be available to have a future. Whitmer, same deal. So they get stuck with Kamala, also because Biden endorsed her ahead of time before they wanted him to. So they get stuck with Kamala, and then everybody's like, whoa, even worse. We're not going to be her VP. Are you kidding me? She's a joke. So everybody backs off. And I think the party itself, you're just seeing the dysfunction in the Democratic Party. That's what I really think is going on. I don't think it's a flex. I really don't. Oh, banking, Johnny. Yeah, you're okay. I could see on banking, yeah. Mikey, what would happen to heavily short stocks if Japan caused a worldwide margin call? Well, they should go up. They should. Because margin call, that's what we're waiting for. Real margin calls. And if you guys read or watched my video from earlier today that I pulled from my live the other night, you understand that the margin call, they've been living on margin that was basically costing them nothing because of the negative interest rates in Japan where they'd gotten all their leverage from. As that changes, everything gets more expensive. So now the margin calls will actually start really hurting. Brett, Minnesota is the highest corporate tax rate after California. Once that starts sinking in, no one wants California-style policies. Exactly. GME going to the damn moon. I hope it gets there, man. I really do. Mad Max extremely disappointed with finger dividend. Something is wrong. I don't think so. I think they're working it out, but we'll see. It's coming. I don't think there's any issues there. It's disappointing, but I don't think there's a problem. Squire, opinions on crypto dropping? Yeah, they would pull the money out of crypto, trying to save it in the stock market. I mean, that's what they do. Listen, hedge funds have, by the way, it shot right back up. I mean, we're almost at 57 again, but hedge funds have billions of dollars in crypto. All right. And when the market's going down and they're scrambling, they're all selling everything. Okay. They're selling here, they're selling there, they're moving money from here to there. So yeah, that's why. But what will happen is there will come a point where crypto holds up better than the market. Okay, there will be a breaking point because there's going to be a bunch of regular people, retail people who are holding, and they're not selling their Bitcoin for crap. They're holding for $1 million. So there will come a point where all that money flows out and Bitcoin just holds, whereas the market will keep going down. But yeah, it'll blow off the top. William doesn't like GTI anymore. I don't like GTI anymore, but do I think it's over? No. I think there's possibilities there. I do think it's on life support. I think the management completely screwed us over, and it's similar to AMC. It's not as bad as AMC yet, but it also could jump AMC and be worse if they get us completely destroy the company. So listen, we have this lawsuit, and that'll go on for a while. It will, and hopefully we win. Knott is very confident, and he's going to have a video, I believe, on Thursday, because tomorrow is the GTI receivership date. So we'll see what happens there. But it's still alive. We just don't know what's going to happen. So now, the fact he claimed he was deaf, I know it's gross. Brandon, you can see GTI squeeze since it's partitioned from the rest of the market. Yeah, but the problem is we can't sell right now. Thomas, you see the Kamala ads being run on TV in Oregon? No. I bet they're horrible. I truly do. Brandon, your thought is now crypto cannot be used as collateral. They dump it right before cover collateral with cash and shift back. That would make sense. Yeah. I'm disappointed over the timing a little bit, but I'm not worried about finger at all, Craig. Yeah, not at all. Okay, check this out. Let's go through some of this economic stuff. All right, because it's, just to remind you guys that it's not over. Outstanding credit card balances and auto loans are at record highs as delinquency rates on both are rising fast. Look at this chart, guys. This is crazy. Here we go. 2006, we're right around $2 trillion with everything. Student loan, credit card, auto loan, other. And we're at almost $5 trillion now. In just 18 years, we've more than doubled. And we're defaulting left and right. So eventually that's going to blow up the banks. It just is. Next, this article is so fantastic. I shared it on Twitter. I recommend everybody interested in like the behind the scenes, what's going on in the stock market and the economy right now. Read this. This is one of the best articles I've ever read explaining it. I can't read it all, but it is, this guy is really good. Oh man, my freaking ad blocker. I always get busted. Pause. Try again. All right. So just Dario, he's just got really good stuff. This is not 87, 2000, 08, or 2020, but a whole new market monster. And this is a long article, but it's so good. And it just gives so much information on understanding why we're in an everything bubble that is just so bad. He explains how he got here, how this has been able to be held up longer than before, but why it's being built up to crash even harder. And I just can't recommend this article enough. I already shared it on Twitter. I'll share it again. But yeah, justdario.com. Check it out. I highly recommend it because I wish I could go through it, but it's just too long. I don't have the time. It's late. Maybe I'll do a separate video just going through the article and just post that instead of doing a live, but just can't do it right now. But anyways, check out this article. It is fantastic. All right. Daniel DiMartino Booth. Sharp retorts about how strong GDP is despite net job destruction of negative 192K in 2023's third quarter are oblivious to the trigger created by the negative 832,000 revision to payrolls. Those jobs that no longer exist are assigned income that's subsequently got to be backed out. In other words, GDP is going to be reversed. The jobs report is going to is also going to have us revising GDP, and this is where she pulled this from. This is what happened to GDP Q1 2001 print from first print to now. The recession began March 2001. 2001 recession. How one quarter GDP first estimate of 2% was revised to negative 1.3. That's a revision of 3.3% backwards, guys. We just got the GDP numbers in that they're trying to convince us we're not in recession. 2.8% for second quarter. If you believe that, like I have, some oceanfront property in Arizona I want to sell you like right now, like for a great price. Listen, there's no way in hell our economy is doing that well. That's a rip-roaring solid number. There's no way we're doing that well. And this is what I think is very possible. We start getting revisions. They've been revising everything else backwards every month. It would not shock me at all to see the GDP revised. And we find out we are either officially in recession or in recession. Listen, I know officially in recession you have to be negative GDP. But when we are growing under the rate of inflation, that there's a good point to be made there that is the same thing as being a recession. Because if inflation is growing, our dollar is losing value quicker than the economy is growing. To me, that's a negative. And so the SOM rule has been triggered. But anyways, Danielle DiMartino Booth is one of the best at data analysts for the economy. She's fantastic. She worked for the Fed. I just cannot recommend her stuff enough. And she believes the recession started last October, and she's been saying that for months now. So just craziness. I forgot to share this earlier. Hold on. Kamala Harris chooses best VP ever. Here we go. I don't know if this is real, but I just saw this. It's funny. The claim: Walz once had his stomach pumped because he drank a gallon of human semen. The facts: it was horse semen. I don't know if this is real or not, or if somebody just put this together. The quartering usually doesn't share stuff that's like that. But anyways, I don't know. Somebody can look that up. I'm afraid to Google it. I'm just saying. Okay, anyways, moving on. Reverse repo tumbled 24 billion down to 292 billion. The first sub 300 billion print since May 2021. So it's been 3 years since reverse repo has been this low. Why is that a problem? That's bank liquidity. The liquidity is drying up. They're taking it out, pumping it into the markets to keep it up, and all of a sudden their reserves are going bye-bye. Wait till we see what the effect is on the banks. We might, if this pressure keeps up, if they have to keep leveraging to keep up the stock market, we will start seeing bank collapses again soon. And they're not going to be able, we're in too tough a place for them to completely be able to pump it up until the election, which they're already trying. Yellen just announced she's selling $46 billion in T-bills until the election, every month until the election, which I'm telling you, it's not going to be enough, in my opinion. I don't think it'll be enough to pump up the economy, but they are trying. They are trying. All right, this is how bad economies around the world are doing. Central banks have conducted 35 rate cuts over the last 3 months. Not here in America, but everywhere else, exceeding quarter one levels. Why? Everybody's economies are tanking. Global central banks cutting interest rates at their fastest pace since 2020, the last time they were stimulating. So you guys, everybody keeps coming to me. Not everybody. A lot of people keep saying to me, this when it breaks, they'll pump it and it'll be fine. They'll just pump it up. I'm telling you that they're already pumping it. They are already pumping. They're already doing everything they can to stimulate this economy, and it's still breaking. This is the end. They have reached their end. I don't know how fast it'll come. I don't know if it'll be in 6 weeks, 6 months, a year. I don't know. But we are at the end of this economy. They cannot keep this going. They cannot. They're running out of all their ammunition. And the question is how much do they have left? But they're already doing it. That's the thing. So they're not going to be able to dig extremely deep and pump a bunch more because they're already feeding it. They are reaching their end as well. Because if they don't, we're going into hyperinflation, and you cannot win an election with hyperinflation. People riot. People overthrow governments because of hyperinflation. You cannot allow hyperinflation to happen. Over the last 25 years, most cuts were seen in May 2020 when global rates were reduced 92 times. 35, 92. We're not quite there yet, but pretty crazy. By comparison, during the peak of the financial crisis in 2009, global central banks implemented 76. So even in the financial crisis, they cut less than they did in COVID. Again, I'm telling you, we've been stimulating this economy since the financial crisis, and we have ramped it up considerably since COVID. World central banks cutting as if global recession is starting. And here you go. Recession or global financial crisis, COVID, and here we go, just rising up there. U.S. financial conditions just saw one of their largest drops since the 2008 financial crisis. U.S. financial conditions turned restrictive on Monday, falling from their easiest levels in 27 years. This came after U.S. corporate investment grade and high-yield bond yields spiked to their highest level since November 2023. VIX contributed to this. Here we go. Financial conditions. So loose leading up. So easy leading up to the... I'm sorry. That's the reverse. So restrictive leading up to the crash. They loosened it with all the liquidity and everything. It kept it pumped, and now it's starting to nosedive again. Things are getting rough. This came out literally just as I was starting my live. India, their central bank is now telling banks, do not build aggressive trading positions against the rupee. So is India's bubble, do they have a currency bubble that will be popping? If that's true, it's going to start pinging. Okay, we're going to go Japan, India, South Korea had a real tough time on Monday. Economies are going to start crashing. They're going to start having major issues. China's on the brink. We will hold up the longest or close to it. We will, because we're in a better position than everybody else. But we're starting to see everything starting to break. It's getting scary. Mortgage applications collapsing. Lowest since 1995. Look at that. So people don't have money to spend. They can't buy into long-term investments. The number one long-term investment, housing, which is what everybody wants. The American dream is dwindling. This, guys, just because the stock market's green, just remember, it doesn't mean anything. The economy is crashing. The fundamentals are just falling apart. It's getting worse by the day. So the question is not if, in my opinion, it is when. And that's what we're waiting on. All right, let me catch up with you guys. Midnight. Waltz thought the drink tasted a bit nutty. Oh, that's nasty. Danielle says, rather a full market crash than Kamala as our president if you had to pick one. 100,000%, Danielle. Let it all crash, let it all burn, and we can rebuild with Trump and get a real economy back. If Kamala gets in, it'll all fail, and they'll use it as an opportunity to completely remake America into a socialist communist nation. They will make the government grow and grow and grow. We'll start getting stuff like UBI. We'll get less and less options on jobs and growth, but the government will come in and it'll be Big Brother, and people will accept it because it'll be so painful under her. They'll allow it to get so painful. Whereas with Trump, we'll deregulate. We'll get the economy where capitalism can move forward. So we'll stimulate by making it easier to start businesses, get revenue moving, and we'll build a better economy moving forward. Ficus. Fiscally, we're spending like we're in wartime. We're already in mass recession. What happens when things get worse? Great question. Things will get worse. They're going to have to let this one happen. That's the thing. So in 2008, they didn't let it happen. They didn't let... This is normal, by the way, in economies. Economies get overheated. They get over-manipulated. The government gets too involved. They screw up. And what happens is that happens in good times. Okay. And it builds and builds and builds. Bubbles are built and then they pop. And what you're supposed to do in capitalism, which is the best economic system in world history, you're supposed to let it pop. And it goes down, and a government that's rich can make sure the bottom doesn't go too low so people aren't dying from starvation. You know, you set a little welfare bottom or something to help people out a little bit. Communities step up, and we get through it. We get through the hard times, but what comes out is better because all the bad stuff that had been built up is shaken off. We clean the dross off. You know, we're refined again, and the economy gets better. And then you enter into a better period, and we make higher highs this next time because everybody learned something. And that's what you do. But in 2008, we were due for that. We were due for a correction that was supposed to be a cleansing of a really disgustingly rigged economy and markets. But we didn't let it happen. Instead, the government stepped in, and what are George Bush's famous words? We have to not use capitalism in order to save it. It was some words like that. That's how he said it. And in order to save capitalism, we have to not use capitalism, something like that. But anyways, they basically just admitted they were intervening like a socialist communist government would, all right, or a dictatorship or something. And anyways, so they stimulate the economy. Well, back then, we didn't have as much debt, so you could print because inflation was very low, and you could print. The other thing you could do is interest rates were already elevated a little bit. I think they're 3 or 4%. They were able to take them down to stimulate. So you take down interest rates to zero, and then you pump the economy full of money. Quantitative easing. It's Keynesian economics, okay? Which the Keynesians believe that you can run everything on debt forever, and it never will catch up to you eventually. It's fine. Just keep doing it. That's what they believe. It's the long and short of it, but it's very anti-capitalistic and very unrealistic. So but that's what they did. So they pump, and they kicked the can down the road. They didn't fix a damn thing. In fact, they made a lot of it worse. And now, since 2008, in the recovery period we've been in, it's just been getting built up. All the bubbles have been building up. And for a while, when Trump came in, he deregulated, he brought manufacturing back. He actually brought some real capitalism to our country again and got the economic gears flowing again. And so what happened is the growth in all that sector started catching up to the stimulus we've been doing. And so all of a sudden we had a pumped up economy met with a real economy that was starting to find its footing again. And so those economic years were awesome. And if it had been allowed to continue, COVID hadn't come, and eventually this production had surpassed the debt levels and stuff, then we would have been able to fix everything without a lot of pain. But instead, COVID hit, they locked us all down, they shut down the economy, and they pumped a bunch more debt. So now this shoots back up again, and then Biden comes in, and then that's all they've been doing ever since. Pump. Pump, regulate more, keep this down, keep real production down, stimulate. So the fake economy we've been living in just grew, and now we're facing the pipe. We're going to pay the piper. The wrath is coming. So it's going to be hard. It might be almost Great Depression level bad, in my opinion. I don't think it'll be quite that bad, but it's going to be bad. I think it's going to be worse than 2008, and we just have to go through it. But if we go through it right with the right leadership, and they lay off the government trying to fix it and actually letting the markets fix it, where the government's just making sure nobody's cheating each other and actually doing their job, which is protect people from predators and people crossing the border, all dangers. They're supposed to protect our citizens from dangers. That is the number one job of our government, and it does not do it at all. Instead, it's picking winners and losers. Not its job. Just protect people from being taken advantage of. So if they do that and they allow the markets to do its job, we'll get through it. We'll get through it in a year and a half, 2 years, and then we'll enter a much better economy for everybody. That's what will happen, Ficus. Shine bright. In the idiocracy, President Camacho deposited $1 million directly into everyone's accounts. Yeah, no, it obviously wasn't that much in COVID, but they did try that. Brandon Boyle, you have coworkers in their 20s expect a crash, think the Fed will just print all good. They have no clue. Yeah, they have no clue. They think the Fed is some magic genie that can just keep all this. It's not happening. Earthquake in California. Wow. With Bidenomics working as magic, do you think they'll be forced to cover shorts? My thesis all along, we'll find out if it's right, but my thesis all along and what previous markets have shown in crashes is that in crashes, liquidity dries up, margin calls come in, real margin calls, and short squeezes happen. So yeah, I do believe it could cause it. Brandon, 87 crashes 20% in one day. Retail is not a huge participant as aggregate. Now the retail percentage is huge. Very true, Brandon. Rum Dog, when's the next labor report? 3 more weeks or so? You find yourself rooting for the market to crash now. You've gone to the dark side with me. Birdbug, yeah, if you hear anything on California, just report it in the chat. Dubois, people in Oregon walk into grocery stores, fill their carts, walk out. No prosecution. Oh, I know. In California, you have to steal over $900 worth in order to have to be prosecuted. Brandon, imagine an 8,000 one-day drop in Dow. Yeah, I know. And that probably won't happen. They have the circuit breakers now. It'll be slower, the crash this time, in my opinion. Chester Cali said they had 17 a bunch of earthquakes. You know, when there's a lot of shocks like that, sometimes it could lead up to like a volcano like Mammoth, but I don't think it'll happen. Robinhood stopped trading overnight altogether? Wow. Wow, XRQ 5.7 in California? That's crazy. September is the next labor report after Labor Day. So there you go. Yeah, because we just had it Friday. Alan, what's in debt becomes lower the standard of living. What country is not in debt becomes the higher standard of living, called end of an empire. Yeah, I agree with you, Alan. I don't think the American empire is going away, though, and I don't want to be an empire. I'm just using, words, fancy words. But I don't think America is going to die through this. I think we're going to end up better for it. We just have to get through this. However, if Kamala, and Big Baby get in, that Cackles and Big Baby get in, then I think, we're screwed. I mean, you might be able to individually make some wealth if you bust hump and, are really smart and wheel and deal. I mean, there's always people who thrive even in terrible countries, but it's going to get a lot harder for everybody. That's and we won't have the country we know and love and believe in. That's for sure. But if Trump gets in, I think we're getting a restart, and it's going to be beautiful in a few years. Bruce, no longer undercover and our faces stand bright. What's that, Bruce? Brett, Waltz kind of looks like John Wayne Gacy. Oh, God, that's terrible. Empire Strikes Back, Space Force. Right, Dubois? Wicked, you're sitting here hearing shaking, Cali moving side to side. That was your blood pressure. Is my video getting you going? Josie, does it mean people get stopped? They take out the calculator to see if they stole too much? Right. that would be kind of funny. Oh, wait. Don't steal that last thing. You're at 897. You can't keep going. Yeah, I don't know how that works. I guess it's like if the police get called on you and they check it and they run everything. I don't know how that works, but it's so dumb. It's so crazy. Cackles and Baby, is that a bar? I mean, look at these two. It's just it's so depressing to even think. I can't even allow myself to go there. I can't even allow myself to begin to think they could be in office. I just have to stay believing that there's just no way in hell. And I'll tell you what, the last couple weeks, it's been closer. Like the whole Kamala stuff, even though a lot of it's fake, a lot of it's manufactured, this excitement for her. The fact is, like, there still was a bump, and I don't think it's anywhere near being trouble yet. But there's still like are people really this stupid? Could this are we gonna not do this? Sometimes those thoughts come in, which then I go through everything and I'm like, well, we're actually still way ahead of where we were when he beat Clinton and beat Biden. And so way ahead of when in 2020 where Biden was able to pull off the steal. And I just go back through the data and I realize, but then they picked old baby here Big Baby here. And once they picked him, I got much happier. I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? This is a joke. This is a bad joke. Like, they picked one of the worst people they could ever pick. So that makes me happier. And I know it's going to have major negative effects on them. So the idiots out there in the media were saying JD Vance is a bad pick, which is not true at all. But this is a guy, it's just not even close. Finger S1 next year. Yeah, it's a ways off. Hero Large, 5 more likes to 100. I'm still under 100 likes. Come on, guys. There's 200 people watching. I told you. If you even thought that video I showed was even a little bit funny, you got to like the video. JD Vance, share, subscribe. Come on, guys. Get it out there. I appreciate you. Thanks for looking out, Hero. XRQ, are the shorts getting out of their GTI holes by somehow getting locates? I don't think so, because the volume has been so low. And because the volume's been so low, I don't think they're covering. But they officially announced Rabari today. So if Rabari is in it with the shorts, if he's, because he is CEO of a hedge fund, we could, I don't know what their plan is there, but maybe it could happen. Sure, you have popcorn. That's right. Adventures. Do I think Trump JD will fix this market infrastructure, or when this crash build the infrastructure how they want it? I'm not sure if. Okay, this is what I think will happen, Adventures. First of all, Trump was a master with the economy the last time. He was a master with it. And he said stuff I just love, like possibly getting rid of income tax, going to tariffs, just like we used to. Guess what? In the 1800s, we didn't have an income tax. In the 1800s, everything was tariffs. And you know what? We had a budget surplus. We had so much money in our government, we didn't know what to do with it. So tariffs work. We don't need an income tax. An income tax is just a way to keep us in slavery. Trump's open to that. That's one thing. The other thing is he knows exactly how to get tariffs bring manufacturing back, because it makes it all of a sudden not as cheap to produce over there because it gets tariffed on the way in. So goods aren't necessarily cheaper just by building everywhere else. So our goods will get more expensive. Oh, well, do you really need a dollar store? Does anybody need that shit at a dollar store? No, it's fun to buy, but nobody needs that crap except for people in poverty or buying their groceries there, which is just sad. But those people will make more money and they can buy real groceries. And inflation will get down because we won't be needing to pump money. We can get a system where we're not pumping out as much debt. Everything can get better. We can get back on the gold standard. There's so many things they can do to make it better. And yes, you will not be able to buy as much cheap stuff, but everything else in your life will be better. Everything else. And your housing, your money for cars like that, you just won't be able to buy as much junk. Because you know why they like us having cheap junk? Because it drugs us to shop so we can buy cheap stuff and not think about everything else that we're missing out on, all the better stuff, which is owning a house and land, owning a decent vehicle, and being able to go on vacation with your family. That's the stuff that really is worth it. That's the stuff that people were doing in the 50s and 60s when things were really well economically, in the 80s and 90s. That's it. And what we have now is a joke. But we can buy a bunch of cheap stuff. Now, that'll go away, but everything else will get better. Wicked. Bush losing means Ilhan can get taken down by another contender. Ilhan? Thomas, next on the poll sporting Fredericks of Hollywood is Cackles and Baby. Calling him Big Baby. Either that or Shrek. He kind of looks like Shrek. Alan, didn't say we die. We're too much in debt. It's the sinking of the ship. Then another one raises. Oh, I see. See, the point is India, China, and Russia are all in worse situations than we are. Except, well, maybe not Russia, but Russia doesn't have the people. It doesn't have the people or the capability of expansion that we do. Look at how the Soviet Union failed. So, India and China don't have a chance. Their economies are a mess. No, America will rise again. We'll be fine. We'll maintain being the strongest nation. China's going to push. China's going to make a run for it, though. China might pass us if Kamala's in. I will say that. You hit the like button. Thank you, Billy. Johnny, why has the volume been so low on these shorted stocks? Seems below. Because they're not shorting as much anymore. Right now, we're mostly seeing regular trading. Why? Because the shorts liquidity is drying up, and a lot of them, they're not wanting to get that all that naked shorting. That is 1,000,000% risk when they naked short like that. And right now, this is not the kind of market where you keep that risk going. Plus, people have been getting busted. Andrew Left, busted. Kramer, busted. I mean, these guys are getting in trouble. So, yeah, the naked shorting's drying up. Not completely. It's still there a little bit, but they're not pushing it like they used to. Mario, where's Biden? Is he going to be part of the DNC, give a speech, basically just be... I know. He's left the face of the earth for all it seems. Birdbug, 5.7 quake alerts Southern Californians, close to Grapevine. Oh, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yep. That's an interesting place for an earthquake. You like cheap cleaning products at the dollar store? Sorry, so now what? Kryptonian, better infrastructure. Yep, we'll have better infrastructure, absolutely. Cheap stuff from China, exactly. It won't be as cheap. Ellen Omar, you think... Oh, I see what you're saying. You meant Cory Bush losing. Okay, when you say Bush losing, I thought I didn't know what to think actually. So, okay, Cory Bush losing, Ellen, yeah, she absolutely could go down. They're just watching, too expensive to continue to short. They'll watch until force cut. Exactly, Kryptonian. That's my thoughts exactly. Yeah. The shorting is getting riskier and riskier at this point, and they're already trapped. So they're probably looking for ways out that aren't going to absolutely destroy them. And so that's drying up volume a little bit. But anyways, all right, guys, I got a call tonight. I got another long day tomorrow. Hopefully it'll be on earlier tomorrow. But I appreciate you guys. Hope you learned something tonight. Hope something must be going right because on YouTube my views are starting to come back up again on the lives again, so that's awesome. But please like, share, subscribe. I really appreciate it. For a while there, I was getting shadow banned, and so everything helps. Everything helps break out of the algorithm. I'm really close to having a system, so I'm going to be able to multi-broadcast, so I can start building up my Rumble as well, just in case I have to move over there if censorship really ramps up during the election the rest of the way. So just keep an eye out for that kind of stuff. And you can follow me on Twitter. And and check out my Patreon if you want even more content, because I do classes on there, which, by the way, I got a financial class coming next couple days. So anyways, love you guys. Bless you. Let me pray and we'll get out of here and see you tomorrow. So Heavenly Father, thank you for today. Bless everybody here, Lord. I pray you give us wisdom on how to handle everything coming, especially if the economy really does crash. God, just help us all navigate that. And Lord, just please, God, intervene for us, fight for us, and give us the wisdom for what we need to do in order to absolutely make sure this election is the will of the people, God, and we get our country back on track, and we make sure that these people who do not have our best interests at heart stay far, far away from ever having a chance to get in that White House. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right. God bless you guys. Oh, and pray for Thomas for healing. Jenny Al, bless you guys as well. All right. Have a great